human rights defenders are a first line defense for victims. They are a shield for human rights. If the shield is broken, this is how the victim will be. My name is Rehana Hashmi, and I'm here. I'm wearing actually two caps. One is activist in residence at Carleton University, Law and Legal Studies, and I'm also volunteer and advisor with the Sisters Trust, Canada. I come from a country in the global South Pakistan, and I was born in a very small city of province of Balochistan, Mastung, which is bordering Iran. So I was very young when I came into this. I was exposed to this activism. My father was protesting against dictatorship, and I took the role of I was at the age of 7 or 8. I took the role of leadership when my father was very often, because of his protest and against government, he was going to jail behind the bar. I was the one who was taking food to him. I was the one who was taking care of, like, going out for grocery. And even at the age of 8, I was taking care of a small store. So I was like a financial advisor at that time. So after that, my father left his activism, and he saw that seed in me. And when we changed city from south to north, I became I was protesting when our first prime minister was hanged, and that was from my real activism started, where I had to leave my city. Or there was two choices: one, to go behind the bars or leave the city jurisdiction. So my mother sent me out of the city, and I was my studies was disturbed, and that was my real activism started at the age of 17. And after that, my whole life was for the protection of women's rights, protesting against these inequalities, giving this protection to women, human rights who were coming under attack. So we had very small shelter home, private shelter home of Sisters Trust, Pakistan. So that where I was taking, like, I was doing my regular jobs, but that was my personal passion to protect women's rights and also give shelter to the women who were acid victim, or who was forced marriages, who were fleeing from the forced marriages, child marriages, and that was kind of my shelter. We were like any human rights defender or any women rights activist. We were getting, it was always been threat from the community, from even fundamentalists, but real problem came when this number one, Osama bin Laden was killed. And how most of the people, they don't know how Osama bin Laden was traced.
With the help of a Pakistani doctor, the CIA set up a fake vaccination campaign in the city of Abbottabad in an effort to get DNA from the bin Laden family. The Taliban subsequently announced a ban on immunization efforts and launched a string of deadly attacks.
Many polio workers were killed. Even one mother and daughter, and mother was 38, daughter was 18, with the young child left who was on her feet, and both mother and daughter killed. And there were many organizations who came under attack, and many women rights organizations come under threat.
Female health workers involved in a vaccination program to eradicate polio have been shot dead in Pakistan. No group has claimed responsibility for the killings, but the Taliban has denounced the program as a Western plot.
That was where the situation got bad to worse. One of the largest province governor, Salman Taseer, was killed by his own guard.
Gunman shot him. According to his spokesman, Mr. Taseer died on the spot. One witness said that the gunman came out of the governor's car.
People were so scared, was not able to come out to protest and protect, and so we, some human rights defender, we organized a protest. We were demanding justice for him, and killer should be punished. But this killer was really garlanded and he was treated like a hero.
Mumtaz Qadri was a police bodyguard who shot the politician he was meant to be looking after. But his supporters don't see him as a traitor, rather as someone who died trying to preserve Pakistan's Islamic character, exemplified in their view by a law that holds blasphemy punishable by death.
So Salman Taseer didn't say anything against Islam or against Quran or any laws, Islamic laws. He said this blasphemy law is black law, and the blasphemy law is not a divine law. It is like a man-made by the British rule in 1905. It was this law came first time into being. When he was killed and when we came out, and this my clip, and I said the same words. I said, these laws are not divine laws, these are man-made laws, and it can be gone, can be repeated. But media took only that portion. I was getting all threats because of that. So that made my life like miserable, and like a New York Times published my big photo with us, letting only my photo with the big picture of Salman Taseer, and this the flashing of this news that I've been threatened by Taliban. Instead of giving me protection, this security agencies gave this news to all media, and it's all flashed all over the world, and so that was real threat which pushed me to leave. It was very hard to leave without saying goodbye to anybody. Like it was immense pressure to come and leave country. At that time I had only visa we went to Netherlands, and from there, and since 2014 we are living out of suitcase, from Netherlands to Sweden to US, San Diego, from San Diego to here in Canada, and we are still not sure where to go next. And it's very hard for a human rights defender when we are in our country and we defend like a women who are acid burn attacks, or the violence against women, child marriages, minorities issues, even any like other issues of indigenous people. We are considered hero, and when we come under attack, when we come under threats, when we become really vulnerable, there is no mechanism at place. So that's that which now even I am on my work permit, but I never applied for refugee because I want to go back. I am fish with without water if I don't do my work, human rights work. In 2016, when I came to Canada, at that time we haven't had any plan, and I wanted to continue get some work here. And I, with my 30 years of human rights work, when I tried to contact many organizations over here, the first thing they ask when I say I am Rehana Hashmi and I am a human rights defender, and I sent 200 times my CV to different organizations. Every time I got the answer, you don't have Canadian experience. So that's when I went to different organizations, and I'm thankful to Amnesty International. When I first time went and asked about that, is there any mechanism for the human rights defenders and especially women human rights defenders? And they said no, there is none. So then, and all human rights organization in Canada, from A to Z, I contacted them, but unfortunately I was said that I don't have any Canadian experience, that's why I can't get job over here. Then I thought that if there is no mechanism and I can't get a job, so why not to have a mechanism for for all human rights defenders who are in exile, and especially women human rights defenders. Then there was an issue what name we should give to this organization. As I already had my Sisters Trust in Pakistan, with the help of these donors and other friends, we registered this organization, Sisters Trust. Our main idea is to do advocacy for the human rights defenders and especially women human rights defenders in exile. When we came to know there is a one document which is prepared, which is called that the voices at risk. That is like a guidelines for Canadian mission. And when we looked at these guidelines, it was gender blind. It was no mention of women human rights defenders. Through Sisters Trust, I think this gave me a platform to really connect with other human rights defenders and especially women human rights defenders in exile. And when, like now we have many human rights defenders from Yemen, from Syria, from Turkey, from Iran, from Egypt, from Afghanistan, from Morocco. So there are many, through Sisters Trust we were being able to connect with all of them. And this is the big network, but still this network has to be formalized. And this network, through this network, I was able to convince institutions like Carleton University to start Activist in Residence program. And through the Sisters Trust, through policy advocacy, we were able to reach out to parliamentarians to highlight this like our voices at risk, to be more sensitive towards women issue. And then this like these IRC immigration, they have a guideline now. This the human rights defenders and women human rights defender is included, that when they come as a refugee they can say, they should not be shy of saying that they have worked in advocacy. So that is one of a big achievement. And coming back to human rights defenders, when I came in 2016, nobody was talking. Even a big institution, like we went to Carter Center in Atlanta, Georgia, and we asked about that when the human rights defender, when they had to leave and when they are in exile, they said that they have to find their own work. We don't know any other work. Our whole work is human rights. So why this work is not acknowledged? So that was a big challenge. Even for it took a long time to people to understand that this category needs a protection when they are here in Canada. It's not only protection, if physically they are saved, but still they have to really work, and their work is human rights. And these all big human rights organizations, they have to acknowledge these knowledge, they have to engage with them. For us, Sisters Trust, we want to see these human rights defenders, like unfortunately I would like to mention over here, like in like these 3 months, we lost our 2 human rights defenders in exile. One took her own life and other is killed. So like this, don't to silence them, because if they are not engaged their work, they go into depression, the mental health issues and all that. What they need, everyone with whom we talked, and we have connection, they always say we want to be engaged with our work. We are not asking for any, we don't want to be dependent on system. We want to contribute. This is what the Sisters Trust advocacy work is, to encourage. Now there is a two-prong, like on one hand, these human rights defenders in exile, they are asking for to be engaged, and our work is to convince institutions like universities, institutions like think tanks, centers, colleges, so engage them in their work, so they are saved and you get benefit. It's a win-win situation. You will save lives, so we need to be connected, we need to be recognized, we need to be engaged, so that this it cannot be done with the one organization or with one person. If every one of us to contribute and play our own role, to engage them with open hearts and open arms and give them chance to work, learn from them. This is a big resource. You don't have to invite big scholars, or they have a wealth of knowledge to contribute to students. They have a wealth of knowledge to contribute to faculties. And if they are here, Canada is lucky to have many of human rights defenders here in exile. Engage them, connect with them, work with them. They will be very happy to contribute, because human rights work is for us, it's our life, our passion, and we want to continue. Thank you.